with all the information that is going about type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, the difference between them, a lot of people still do not understand what type 1 and type 2 diabetes is. So I'm here to explain it over and over again, even though I've done an extensive video explaining what type 1 diabetes is. First and foremost, before we talk about like type 1 and type 2 diabetes and the difference, we have to talk about insulin, which is the basics for diabetes. So insulin is responsible for taking glucose that you receive from your food. The glucose, the energy that you get from your food, is responsible for taking that glucose from the blood into your cells and your muscles to be used by them. You are able to walk, move, because insulin takes that sugar to your muscles, your cells, so that you are able to use them to walk, to eat, to think, to do everything basically. What happens in diabetes is that there is usually an issue with either insulin production or insulin usage. In type 1 diabetes, the cell that is responsible for producing this insulin that is needed for you to have energy to, work is destroyed. So your body cannot produce insulin at all. So that's why we have to shook ourselves. We have to do the work of the beta cells of the pancreas. And then in type 2 diabetes, there are two categories of type 2 diabetes. Generally, insulin is being produced, but it is not being produced in enough quantity, because like when you eat a particular food, there is an amount of insulin your body is supposed to release to, counter that, the energy from that food. But the body is not producing enough. And so you see people who have type 2 diabetes who also have to take insulin, maybe in smaller quantity than type 1 diabetes. The second category of type 2 diabetes are people who are producing enough insulin, like their insulin production is enough, the pancreas is functioning very, very well. But there is something called resistance, insulin resistance. That is to say, the body cannot make use of the insulin that is being produced. In type 2 diabetes, can be related to genetic factors, it can be related to obesity, especially for the insulin resistance. It can be related to obesity, it can be related to sedentary lifestyle and things like that. But you see, type 1 diabetes, there is no known cause. So yes, there is a difference between type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes. For those who have that insulin resistance, most of the time they go only on medications, drugs to help break that resistance so the body can make use of insulin. But people who do not produce insulin at all, we are called insulin dependent diabetics. So we need insulin, we need to inject insulin our whole life till they find a solution on how to get our beta cells back, which is like growing a finger that has been cut off. So